Hey everybody, we're here for Caveman's Conspiracies, Caveman's all-new podcast. A little scary. My flat earth people fucking dropped me like a bad habit, so it's just us non-believers in here. We're all coming in with preconceived notions that the world is round, and we're going to do our best to dismiss this crazy theory. I made my tinfoil hat so the government can't listen to us, and it didn't work. We still lost our guests. I have with me Dan Dorfman.
What up, what up?
Dan is a quality kickboxer, martial artist, and all-around swell guy.
Thank you very much.
And he's really popular with the ladies, not like Caveman.
I do what I can.
Yeah. I have my wife and my son here because I had to hear about Flat Earth for the last 3 months.
Yeah, that was enough.
Enough with the Flat Earth.
Yeah.
I hear that very loudly, Forrest. All right, so we're here. What do you guys think about Flat Earth?
The Earth is not flat.
I would have to say that it's pretty irrefutable that the Earth is round.
The first thing I would want to ask a Flat Earth person, if we had him, is what is the shape of the Earth? Is it like just a big square floating in the sky, like super thin? Or is it like an island floating through the sky? You know, and how is everything compressed together? You know, I see the when they do the scale of the Earth with the Flat Earth people, they have like ice all around everything at the corners of the globe, and that stops the oceans from going out into whatever. But I really don't understand how the Earth would be shaped if it was flat.
It wouldn't make sense, because how could you fly around the Earth? Is my first question. Because there's been many flights, where someone goes all the way around the Earth. So, if the Earth was flat, then there would have to be a bottom to it. Where's the bottom?
That's where the dinosaurs are.
Well, I didn't know that. Now I know.
Yeah. Actually, most of the Flat Earth people believe the dinosaurs are fake, too.
That makes sense. I believe that. They believe that. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. The Earth's a sphere, and I don't see much quality rebuttal to that.
See, like, we're looking at a picture of a totally flattened out globe right now, and that could not happen because...
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
First of all, they're missing the entire North America and South America, Antarctica. They only have Africa, Europe, and Asia on there. So that's the first flaw I see.
Yeah, that would be a flaw. But this is not the scale thing. It's just whatever. But I just don't understand the shape of the Earth. What are you going to say, Forrest? Go ahead.
Most people believe it's a disc. A lot of the flat Earth people think it's like a plane or a disc, and it's like flat, like all the way across.
Have you ever personally flown across the Earth in a plane?
Define across, like all the way around?
Yeah, like all the way around. Like where you'd cross over where it's flat.
I have not. I've done a good amount of flying. I've flown all the way to the Middle East, so I've crossed the Atlantic several times. And even from that altitude, what is it, like 30,000 feet in the air, I think?
Yeah.
At flights like that, you can see that the Earth is flat at that point. And I read...
It's flat?
Sorry that it's not flat.
Oh,
thanks for that
changed.
correction, Caveman. Oh man, great! Now all my fans are gonna be.
You just lost all your kickboxing fans.
All
I think
of
you're
them,
punch drunk.
They all went. I might be. I don't know what you put in this red. In this, what am I drinking? Monster.
Yeah.
I don't
Monster
know what you put in it.
drink.
But I read somewhere that they were saying they think that the clouds are flat. Which, if you've ever flown that high, you fly through the clouds and you can clearly see that they're not flat.
I've actually, you can almost see you can see the curvature of the Earth when you're playing.
Yeah.
But people say it's because of the way the windows are made that you see that curvature.
I don't think so.
It's a big conspiracy.
That's the problem with most of this. It's people think.
Actually, I did see a really cool thing, and they show the same picture from a different angle, and you can make the world look flat, or you can make it look angled, where it's spherical. And just by where you take the picture with the camera, it can change how it looks. So it's very easy to see why you can think that the Earth could be flat from pictures.
Yeah, I mean, the same thing happens with the human eye, the way that the human eye sees, you know what I mean? So conspiracy theories about the Earth being flat, the people who back that could say that theoretically the Earth is flat, and it's just impossible for humans to tell because the way our eyes are made. You know what I mean? You can argue just about anything when you look at that
Oh,
from that perspective.
I got one that just popped in my head.
Okay.
So, we used to play guns in the forest when we were little kids, and you could, we weren't supposed to always be way down there. So, like, you can see it's not on a hill or anything; it's pretty flat ground, and you can almost see the campsite from underneath the tree. But when you go on top of the tree, you can see the campsite, and it's not a graded land; it's pretty flat. So, why is that? If from a higher altitude, if you can see farther, wouldn't that mean that the world is curved? Because if you're flat, wouldn't you see the same distance no matter what height you're at? Or is that not correct thinking?
Yeah. I think I'm following what you're saying, and I think you're absolutely right. From because if the Earth was completely flat, then you would be able. I mean, the problem with that is whether it's flat or not, you're going to see an end, because if it's flat, you're going to see the end of the Earth, because there has to be an end to the Earth if it's flat. If it's rounded, then you're going to see the horizon. So saying that you can see the end or you can't see the end or whatever, that goes both ways. So, but seeing it from being up in the trees, that's what you were saying, right?
Yeah,
you're
like
up in the tree,
pretty high in the tree,
and you
too.
can see
You can
the
see
campsite.
farther. Yeah, you can see a campsite, but when you're on the bottom, you can't. And
Yeah,
it's
so
not like a graded land
that
where
was-
you're
yeah, so
like a
that
hill.
So you're saying it's the area is flat.
The area's flat, and you can barely see to here. I'm using a paper and pointing on it. But if I'm up in a tree, I can see farther past the end of the paper.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, if the Earth is flat, you should be able to see the same amount, whether you're higher or lower,
You should be able to,
right?
if the Earth were flat.
If the Earth is flat. I got another one.
Okay.
All right. This one is not actually mine. I've actually heard it before. But I've seen it. When boats come over the horizon, what do you see?
First, you see the highest point of the boat.
Right, like the mast or something?
Yeah,
If the Earth was flat,
yeah.
wouldn't a whole boat
Yeah,
pop
you would
into...
just see the whole boat.
Yeah, pop
Or
into vision?
you wouldn't ever be able to not see it. You would just... It would be there the entire time. It wouldn't come up gradually in parts. If the Earth was flat,
Right?
then you would be able to see the entire boat the entire time.
I think so. What do you think, Harris? You're Asian, you're smart.
Imagine an ant walking along the surface of an orange. Into your field of view, if you look at the orange head on, you will see the ant's body slowly rising up from the horizon. Because of the curvature of the orange, if you would do that experiment with a long roll, the effect will have changed. The ant would have slowly materialized into view, depending on how sharp your vision is.
That's a great analogy.
What's that source?
Popular science.
All right, we can't steal stuff without giving them credit.
Oh, popular science.
Yeah, otherwise it might shut us down.
Oh.
Don't want that.
Yeah, the government's
Can I-
already coming.
Let me just say that was from popular science. It's not from the Asian smartness. I'm smart enough to go research.
www.popside.com.
Perfect. We're all set. I would hate to be shut down after my first podcast.
All right, here's a new book by Eric Dubé. He's got 10 reasons why the Earth is flat, and they can prove it. He says the horizon always appears perfectly flat, except in NASA and other government pictures, which are obviously faked as part of a global conspiracy. So here's the pictures. If you want to check it out, we're on Metro News, but not as you know it. It's metro.cu.uk with a bunch of other stuff. All I really did was search 10 proofs there is not actually round, it's flat. And this is the first thing that came up. So what do you think about that? The government seeding us fake pictures.
I think the government does a lot of suspicious things, but I don't think that you can really discredit. I mean, we have rovers and stuff on Mars, so we know that we have the technology and the capability. Safe move. Caveman just put on his tinfoil helmet.
Yeah, I got to put on my tinfoil helmet because we're talking about the government now, and I don't want them listening.
See, I'm screwed because I don't have one.
Are you going live?
I'm trying to.
Yeah. I'm going to go live too. Yeah, so why would the government have a conspiracy to tell us that the world is round?
Yeah, what would they gain from that? That's a good question.
I mean, I don't understand. Every conspiracy theory needs to have a reason why they're doing it, right? You know, the bankers run the government, they run it. Why? Because of money and all the other stuff. But why would the government want us to think the Earth is flat? Round, I mean. Why would the government want us to think the Earth is round?
Maybe they don't want us to know what's on the other side of the Earth.
Maybe the dinosaurs are down there?
Maybe it's like the dark side of the moon type of thing.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking is I think this is a global conspiracy to make conspiracy theory people look like crackpots.
That's a very valid argument, actually.
You know?
That's a very valid argument. And maybe, can we take a second? And I mean, this whole thing came up because of a few NBA players talking about it.
And Kron Gracie and
famous people is my point. You know what I mean? If it was just me and you talking, you know what I mean, at Tim Hortons or whatever, no one would care. It wouldn't be a whole global phenomenon. But as soon as celebrities get involved, that's when everyone, you know what I mean, starts caring about what they say. And if I were planning a conspiracy theory, if I were the government, then I would absolutely go to someone famous and tell them to say that.
Right.
So it kind of adds up.
Most of the time you hear people say stuff like that, they have this kind of hat on.
That's true.
That's what I'm telling you guys.
That's very true.
Here's the other thing. My friend that was originally going to come on this show, he's a round earth guy. He believes that the earth is round, obviously. He said that his girlfriend works for alternative media because they're kind of like with grassroots political people. So they work with the alternative media. And they said that all the alternative media got blasted with a whole bunch of flat earth propaganda and emails and videos and all kinds of stuff. So it really could be some sort of government conspiracy.
That's crazy. Who knows with the media these days, especially the way that the media has changed, because it's no longer just newspapers and stuff like that. Anyone can start a blog online or put up a website, try to make it look legit.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
At that point, it's media. Exactly. We are the media right now. And all we're doing is on our computers looking at other forms of media.
Yeah, well, I have a tinfoil hat on, so the government can't get into my mind waves.
Yeah.
Hey, one thing. You know where the only unsafe place in your house is? Inside the microwave, because you can't put tinfoil in there.
Only unsafe?
Yeah, it's unsafe. The government can spy on you from a microwave.
That's true.
Because you can't put tinfoil in there.
So maybe they're putting stuff in like my mashed potatoes.
Maybe.
Yeah, I wish there is a flat earth person here, because my question to a flat earth person is, so what is around the edges of a flat earth?
Ice is around the edges. That's what they say. You know, actually, why Henshaw didn't come on?
Why?
I was reading his Facebook while I was in here.
He was ice fishing?
No, actually,
at the edge of the flat earth?
They say like all the edges of the world are really Antarctica. And actually, someone actually trekked across Antarctica, and they have a story about it. So, like a real person actually went all the way across Antarctica, and it's documented.
Like in a rectangular shape or a square shape?
Like, they were saying if you go over Antarctica, that's the edge of the Earth. That's what the flat Earth people believe, right? Like the end of the ice there.
So what's the end of that story? The guy fell off the edge of the Earth?
No, he made it all the way around. So
and you can never finish that story, so no one would ever know the truth.
So no, what I'm saying is it converted him from a flat Earth person into a round Earth person finally.
Oh,
okay.
That's what the end of the story is.
Oh,
that's why he wouldn't come on.
He didn't fall off, so now he's a believer.
Yeah, he didn't fall off the end of the Earth, so now he believes.
He's just falling into oblivion, yelling, "Guys, the Earth's flat. The Earth's flat."
Ah! That brings me to the next thing. Hollow Earth. Did you ever hear of that?
Oh, yes. That's
hollow Earth?
Equally ridiculous.
Hollow Earth.
I'd never heard that.
Educate
me.
There's a group of technologically advanced people living underneath the planet
with tinfoil hats on.
Maybe that's how they keep the government away. And they have greater technology, and we're not good enough to be down there. So they're like a greater human race living down there.
Yeah.
I want to go there.
That's a show for another time.
Somebody find me the secret door.
I didn't actually do any research on Hollow Earth. I didn't do too much on Flat Earth either, because my Round Earth guy knows everything, so I was just going to siphon off of him.
Oh, man.
You shouldn't have brought up Hollow Earth if you didn't research for it.
Well, that's what I'm going to do this so people listen and be like, I believe in Hollow Earth. I got a Bigfoot guy already.
You got a Bigfoot guy?
I got a guy that saw Bigfoot.
Really?
That Brian Marciniak that's putting on the John Jones thing, he said he saw Bigfoot.
Brian saw that?
Yeah, Brian saw that. And he said he's going to come back in and he's going to talk about Bigfoot.
Did he get a picture of Bigfoot?
No.
He didn't Snapchat it?
No.
I've met Brian a few times. He's a cool guy. He's really chill. I like him a lot. He's good at what he does. But I discredit people who make the wardrobe choices that he makes a little bit.
He came in here with like a red velvet shirt on.
I mean,
it was pretty hot.
Part of me is jealous. Part of me is jealous that he has the balls to wear that and pull it off and rocks it, and he hangs out with way hotter babes than I do. I gotta give him that.
It's a velvet material.
Is that what it
attracts the ladies.
The
You know-
babes like velvet.
He pulled it off, but he had
It's
like
all
a
nice
shirt
and
on underneath.
soft.
You know, usually you see guys wear that. They got like the big beer belly, and they don't have a shirt on underneath.
He had a shirt on.
Yeah, he pulls it
What
off.
happened to flat Earth?
It's a podcast, man. We talk about the bird that lands on the window.
We're trying to help you out with how to get babes when you're older, man. You should be taking
Yeah.
notes. You gotta wear the velvet shirts.
The velvet shirt. Usually the red velvet shirt is the guy with the real real hairy chest.
Yeah, and it's
And the
open.
big gold chain.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's
Yeah,
always
it's
no
like
shirt
3
underneath.
buttons down, and you see the hairy chest and the gold chain.
Yeah,
And that's how you get the babes, because the babes like, ooh, he's
Brian-
rich.
Brian's a tall guy with the bald head from Lace Up. The heavier set gentleman, the tall guy at Lace Up. You know him exactly who he is if you saw him.
I'm pretty sure I know who he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, he just came into the gym yesterday with a John Jones poster.
yeah. He's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? He's bringing John Jones. He's bringing Big John McCarthy.
Yeah, bringing
right?
Big John. Yeah, we gave
Big
Saul
John's
tickets.
coming
Saul
in.
won tickets from Caveman's Corner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah, so Caveman's Corner is a much better podcast than this one.
And he's a great guy. He like, I remember on Thanksgiving he was like giving food to the homeless and everything. He's a great guy, and I
He
don't
won-
know, I guess I wish I had the cojones to pull off the shirts that he pulls off.
Yeah, and he did not.
And get the babes the kind
Yeah.
of babes that he gets.
He did not
Seriously,
believe
he
in
like
flat
hangs
Earth,
out
though.
poolside in Vegas, hanging out with hot babes and stuff. I'm
Oh,
jealous.
really?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
The
In
guy's got it
Vegas,
going
too?
on. Yeah.
Not just in Buffalo, huh?
Nah, he travels. He
Wow.
travels. Yeah, he's got notoriety.
I'm coming in the studio next time. When
Alright.
do you talk about Bigfoot with Brian? I'm just kidding.
Next,
I want to be here for that. You know who does a great bit on Joe Rogan, part of his stand-up? He does a really, really funny bit about people who hunt Bigfoot, because he did it.
Yeah.
Because Joe Rogan's the man, so he like wanted to try it out, and he did it, and he basically came to the conclusion that it's just a whole bunch of BS.
right. I'm gonna bring a.
Can we get Joe Rogan in here? Can you pull those
I'm
strings
gonna-
yet, Caveman?
I don't know, not yet. But I was trying to get Eddie Bravo in here. Eddie Bravo for Flat Earth would have been the guy to bring in.
Yeah, I agree.
But
Him and Joe do some great podcasts.
yeah, he didn't write me back, and he just did his own Flat Earth podcast like last week.
Uh-oh.
So
Okay, so
Oh,
you're
you
really,
didn't write you
so you're
back.
really, so you're really just ripping him off.
no, I wanted to do it for weeks now. I've been really
think
trying to
it-
do this for 3 weeks.
I think what Caveman saying this Eddie Bravo actually ripped off.
Yeah, Eddie
His
Bravo
idea.
ripped me off.
He's
is
like,
what
oh, I'm
saying.
not going on that stupid Caveman show. I'm going to do my own show about
And it's
it.
gonna be better.
Yeah. And people going to listen to
Do
it.
you have screenshots, man? You could put this online. Do you have screenshots? You still got the emails, or
Yeah.
I'm
you
guessing you
should,
didn't write a
like-
letter to him.
No, I didn't write a letter to him. I just
Yeah.
shot him a message on Twitter. So
Oh, you could pull that up, screenshot it
Yeah.
like days before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
here's the next Flat Earth one. You never have to look down to see the horizon, no matter how hard you rise. That doesn't even make sense. If Earth was a real globe, you'd have to look down.
No, you wouldn't. That's
I
what the
think-
horizon is.
See, this is where how he draws it.
This is pro flat Earth, right?
Yeah, pro Flat Earth.
And they're saying you wouldn't have to look down.
Right. So what the picture is it's a circle, and there's a straight line off the circle. So it looks like a half of a bike tire, and there's a straight line, and it's showing lines coming down. And the farther away from the edge of the circle you get, the longer the lines are. So what that is saying is the higher up you are on Earth, you would have to look down to see the horizon. But the flaw with that is you never get off the round part of the Earth.
The flaw with that is I don't think they know the definition of the horizon.
Right. Because no matter where you look, the horizon's always going to be off, and you're always going to be at this point.
Because the horizon relies on the curvature of the Earth. Let me Google the actual.
I think on Popular Science.
Popular Science is our go-to today.
um,
What if Popular Science is run by the government? Maybe you should check out an alternative media
do
site.
you always notice like people who talk about flat Earth, fake moon landing, and all these things are always saying, "Oh, the government did it. It's a government conspiracy. They want us to believe these things." And it's like, I think the government is pretty busy working on other problems in the world and trying to make us believe in other things.
I don't know. I heard Trump has been golfing like 12 times already.
Yeah, if these are real conspiracies, I think during the next 4 years we'll figure it out.
Did you
Yeah, he'll tweet it. Trump will tweet it if it's
Yeah.
a conspiracy.
Yeah, our new president will be like, "Let me tell you what I found in the classified files."
coming from the guy with the tinfoil on his head?
Yeah.
I would say the government has done a lot of shady stuff in the past.
Absolutely.
They tried to do uprisings in Cuba. They did
Thank
all
God I gave you a
kinds of-
tinfoil head.
Yeah, I know. The government will be in here with a helicopter. One you can't hear because it's super secret.
I would claim no relationship with you when that happens.
Right. And they
I
tested.
don't know that guy.
They tested all those sexual diseases on all the people that went to the hospital. They tried to do terrorist attacks on our own country to start us in wars. That's all documented stuff. So I don't trust the government at all, and that's why I got my tinfoil hat on.
I don't know him.
You know.
Okay, so Thierry says, so this is from Popular Science. Standing on a flat plateau, you look ahead of you towards the horizon. You strain your eyes and take out your favorite binoculars and stare through them as far as your eyes can see with the help of the binocular. Then you climb on the closest tree. The higher the better. Just be careful not to drop those binoculars and break their lenses. You then look again, strain your eyes, stare through the binoculars out into the horizon. The higher up you are, the farther you will see. Usually we tend to relate this to earthly obstacles, like the fact that we have houses and other trees obstructing our vision on the ground, and climbing upward we have a clear view, but that's not the true reason. Even if you will have a completely clear plateau with no obstacles between you and the horizon, you will see much farther from greater height than you would on the ground. The phenomenon is caused by the curvature of the earth as well, and would not happen if the earth was flat.
I think we just lost all the viewers, but that's pretty much what I just said about climbing a tree, right? When we were playing guns.
Essentially.
Yeah, that was your original theory.
Oh,
Popsci.com.
okay. All right,
Forrest is my personal producer over here.
we're gonna blow right by that one because I'm confused now. That's not too hard to do. That's why you wanted smart people on here, except for me. If the Earth was really a sphere hurtling through space, the water would be wobbling all over the place instead of staying flat.
There's something called gravity.
Yeah, I read something earlier about how people think that the sun revolves around the Earth, which has been disproven as well, and they try to discredit gravity. I'm trying to be a little bit more specific. I'm trying to find it right now. I'm sorry, but I think you can't really disprove gravity at this point. There's so many concepts of physics and engineering that rely on it. If gravity didn't exist, the world would kind of be screwed.
Isn't the atmosphere figured out spherically as well? I'm trying to remember.
Say that again?
Don't they figure out the atmospheric patterns and everything as the Earth is sphere? Like the weather patterns and stuff? I'm not sure. I think I read something about that. This is the worst podcast ever because I have no documentation or saying it from the cuff.
It's okay. The flat Earth people don't have any documentations either. That's why they won't even come on the show.
I'm reading from the documentation right now.
Can we take some flat Earth collars or something?
Yeah, if we have a caller, we can take callers. We're only on the live with one person watching, so we're not gonna get many callers probably.
No, probably not.
What you want to say?
Awkward silence. Forrest, go for it.
Yeah, you don't have to just talk. I don't understand your mad gesticulating.
I think he's casting spells.
Is witchcraft one?
Actually, yeah. If you ever do a witch show, I would come on too.
I'm gonna do one about witches. I'm gonna do one about religion. Because religion is a big conspiracy.
I would love to be on the religion one.
Yes.
I would absolutely.
I think
love
you have
to be
a lot of taker on those shows than the flat Earth one, because that one is just
I'm
standing.
Jewish, so I bring diversity to the religion talk.
Awesome.
I was raised Jewish.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I would like to bring Cameron Lionheart in for this one as well. The pastor.
Pastor?
Yeah, if he would do it.
If the Earth was flat, how would we would basically be doomed by the sun, because if the Earth was flat, we wouldn't have a magnetic field that protects us from the sun's radiation, because the Earth couldn't spin to create the magnetic field.
Oh my God, out of like 4 people, 3 adults, and a 10-year-old, the 10-year-old says the most scientific thing without looking up anywhere.
That's
100%
true. That's 100% true. That's the problem with getting older. That's why, like, when you're young and in school, you're in what, 5th grade, 4th grade?
5th.
See, so they teach you all this smart stuff that they want you to know, but then you forget all of it. Like, he said it, and he's absolutely right, and I remember learning about it, but I never would have remembered it by myself because of all this other nonsense that I know. You shouldn't learn anything until you're like 15.
You know what? I've actually not heard. I'm lying that I didn't do any research for this. I actually looked up a lot of stuff, and I never actually seen that. That's a really good one for us.
But that was a very, very good.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Good explanation. Very cool.
If the Earth was really a globe,
I'm so proud right now.
okay, this is not a great mom moment because we're having him on a podcast about the Earth being flat. His dad's wearing a tinfoil hat to keep the government away from him.
This is why sitting next to his mom
That's
and
why
his dad's as far away as
I
possible.
said I'm a proud mom. I didn't say I'm a proud wife.
This is probably like CPS territory. So, and we're live, so you might be going to stay with some strangers tonight, for us. All right, if the Earth was really a globe, rivers such as the Mississippi would have to flow uphill to reach the sea, flowing uphill 11 miles in its 3,000-mile length. And that's taking into account the curvature of the Earth. Do you guys have an answer for that one?
I don't know. I don't know what the terrain around the Mississippi River looks like, so I'm kind of stumped.
What they're doing is they're taking what the actual math of the Earth is, the roundness of the Earth, and calculating over flowing over 3,000 miles, it would have to go uphill 11 miles to follow the curvature of the Earth. Are you guys stumped? I got a good answer for this one, but go ahead.
No, I was waiting for you to
Yeah,
say
if you
something.
got the answer, then go for it, bro.
Oh, I don't have like a scientific answer. I just have my own answer because we did the same thing with the train tracks. When you're going down that curvature, it's not all happening at once because you're always on the top of the tire wherever you go.
Mm-hmm.
So the water never actually flows uphill unless the terrain is actually going up. Because of the curve of the Earth, the water just flows with it. It's always, because of gravity, it's always stuck in that same place.
Right?
Right?
And we discussed gravity earlier by
Right.
saying that there is gravity.
And that's the same thing when they talk about when they laid the tracks all the way across the country. They never took into account how spherical the Earth is, but they don't need to because they're laying it like do you know how long a train track is? 6 feet at a time or 8 feet, something like that. Dan?
Where's Tommy Neff?
Yeah, Tommy Neff would know.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop. Train guy Tommy would know how long
Tommy the train guy.
Yeah, how long the rails are, but this is only like 6 or 8 feet at a time. So you're never going to get to the spot where you have a curvature. It's always going to be just the terrain itself.
Yeah, that's like we were talking about before the podcast. The problem with like these experiments are done where they do even 6 miles at a time. That's not enough of a surface that you would notice the Earth being round. You could notice it, but the decimal, you would need like the NASA computer to reach the amount of decimals to see that there is a change in the Earth. You have to measure it at a more significant level.
But the flat Earth people don't believe in NASA.
They can't
They
get
only believe in themselves.
They can't get the funding to do bigger research.
No. But that's the problem. I think the flat Earth people, they're very short-sighted because they are doing these very minor experiments to try to prove their theory when, in reality, the Earth is such a large mass of an object that you can't possibly do these small experiments and trying to prove your theory. You really do need to do the larger scale experiments to say this is really true. And I think that's why it's called pseudoscience with the flat earthers, and that there's only very few people who actually believes in it.
I'm going to take this hat off for a minute while we're talking about non-government related things.
Perfect.
All right. And the tape didn't hold up so good. I don't know if you...
I think it's
guys
from
can
that
see it.
sweat.
Yeah, dude. It's like wearing a sauna suit in this thing. So it's getting really warm in here. But this tinfoil hat's keeping me safe from the government. The next one on our thing is, if the Earth was really spherical, helicopters would be able to hover in place and wait for the destination to come to them. Why does that not happen?
Gravity.
I think that could happen, but it's extremely inefficient to wait for that to happen. Why would you wait that long? The whole purpose of a helicopter is to get somewhere faster. So if you stood there, I think that I mean, I'm just thinking logically. I don't know any facts about this, but the Earth does spin. So if you just hovered, then unless the helicopter has to, no, the helicopter, I don't think it would have to hover with the Earth's rotation.
How hard is... I wish we had a helicopter pilot. This is one I'd actually like to do a little bit of research on. Because I think it's pretty hard to maintain your position when you're hovering in a helicopter. You know, they always make it look like it's hard in movies, at least. I don't know about real life. I only know like what I see on TV and in movies. But you always see them working the pedals and the feet together just to stay in place. It doesn't look like it's that easy to hover.
Yeah, so not only is it inefficient time-wise, but it's also much more dangerous.
Yeah, because even just keeping the downward force from the propeller, or I don't know what they're called, but the propeller part, you know,
Yeah,
like I watched Airwolf a lot. Yeah,
part.
the back tail part and the top tail fin.
Yeah.
And that creates a downward force that lifts the helicopter. I know when I play with the RC helicopters, I can't fucking get them to stay in place. You know what I mean?
Those
like,
things are so hard to control.
It's hard.
Man.
So
I remember at one point Corey Webster had one playing with it at the gym, and even in a huge open on the jiu-jitsu mat area, when we were on the other part of the Great Arrow building, man, he still couldn't control that thing.
So when you scale that up, I mean, obviously you're having the same force, just on a bigger scale with real engineers that keep this shit flying safer.
Yeah.
But it's still, there's a lot of work just to keep that thing hovering. And obviously, you know, the downward force carries everything.
Absolutely.
And here's another thing. So for the people that try to discredit all those amazing pictures that we see from NASA, from the astronauts.
They're all rigged.
Right. That's what people say. But here's the thing. So those pictures are not just sent back by our people, the American astronauts. A lot of the people that go up into space now are from many, many different countries, right? So you can say, oh, they all got together. It's conspiracy theory. They all got together and rigged it. But think about so we have Russians up there. We have Americans up there. We have Chinese up there. We have Indian astronauts. We have all kinds of...
Red Bull went up there?
Right. We have all kinds of people from all over the world. And these nations don't always get along. So I cannot imagine if this is rigged by the U.S. government that the Russians are not going to come out and say, oh, you know what, let us disprove the American government and show you pictures to show the Earth isn't round and is flat.
If the Earth was flat and it rotated on its axis, it wouldn't technically work because it couldn't be a spherical shape and it wouldn't be able to rotate right, and we wouldn't have, and gravity would be all messed up. So the water would probably all fly out into space. And so would land.
Oh, I got. That made me think of something. Why does the water run differently in different hemispheres if the Earth's not round? You know, like when you flush a toilet, it goes one way here. Yep. And then when you're in Australia, you flush a toilet, it goes the other way?
Those are different toilet designs, that's all.
I actually read something about this toilet flushing thing.
Yeah.
They actually say it's not even that noticeable.
It's
when you go to the other side.
Whether it's noticeable or not, that actually the reason that happens actually what Forrest was saying earlier, it has to do with the magnetic, the change, because the magnetic field or whatever they change on the sides of the equator, right, Forrest? You're the magnetic expert here.
It comes from the...
I'm fact checking science with a 10-year-old.
Fake news. Wrong.
This is why I dropped out of college after 4.5 years.
For his associates.
So, if you imagined the Earth with a ring, like Uranus's ring, because
like Uranus's
ring. Uranus's ring. Uranus's ring is unlike Saturn's ring, and it goes vertically. That's sort of how the magnetic field starts, and the magnetic field slowly gets bigger and rounder, and it's like it's sort of like a round. It's like it rounds, and then it gets narrower, and then it comes back into the middle, and then it comes back out. It's kind of like if you took an apple and the apple sort of like collapses in on one side and the other side. If you like exaggerated that a lot, it sort of looked like the magnetic field.
That's smart.
That's very smart.
I lost you, but that's smart. I was like looking at the computer and daydreaming. And
I've been looking at this website for probably 15 minutes, and I don't know if it's pro or anti flat Earth. But it makes some good points. Let me start off with this one. The naked eye, the sun, and the moon are the same size. I'm not entirely sure what that's trying to prove, but is that true? Have you ever?
I don't know.
Have you ever thought about that?
I can't really look at the sun. It's too bright. It's hard to tell.
You can't tell because the moon doesn't have any rays that to come out and like make it shinier. The sun's rays makes it look bigger.
Make it look bigger.
So with the unaided eye, you can't really tell because the sun's rays just makes it look like a big blob.
So no one really knows.
Right. But
I'm so happy he's here.
Yeah.
why is everything else wrong? Like we can tell the moon's wrong. We can tell the sun's wrong. Why wouldn't the Earth be
It's
wrong or
interesting.
spherical?
So that they have another one right here.
Oh,
and by the
perfect.
way, I'm on a plaintruth.info.
Oh
Is that
boy.
what this is?
The government's definitely coming to this building tonight.
So it says why we never see the so-called dark side of the moon, because the dark side does not exist. No. Because it's not a ball in so-called space, in quotation marks. If you want to laugh, look up yourself sciences. Also surrounded by quotations, explanations for why we never see the dark side.
This seems like a very flat Earth type website.
I think so, but it also at the same time almost seems sarcastic.
Oh, so it could be like a.
Maybe this guy's making
Yeah.
a joke out of it too. I don't know. Go
Are we
for it.
making a joke out of it? I tried to come in with an open mind until all the flat Earth people wouldn't come on. I got one other thing
That's
to
why
say
we
about
need
flat
one
Earth
here.
people. I posted in forums and they never want to debate. All they do is put one side of the argument out. They can't stand a debate. You know, you only see YouTube videos, you only see postings, you don't see debate going on. And anything that can be proven, you should be able to debate, or at least prove your facts.
Absolutely.
I should have watched the Neil deGrasse thing where he debunked all this. That was just on Joe Rogan not too long ago.
Yeah, there was a good quote from him that was funny, because apparently I guess Shaq is the latest celebrity to support.
Kron Gracie too. My listeners are gonna know him.
It's crazy.
And
What did he said? Something.
Eddie Bravo.
Here, I can. The Shaq O'Neal thing. If you give me
Here.
1 second.
Here we go. So this is from Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, hey! We're trying to talk here, please.
Excuse me.
I'm just kidding.
So here's a quote from Neil deGrasse Tyson. Let me be blunt. We live in a free country, so you ought to be able to think and say whatever you want. If he wants to think the earth is flat, go right ahead. As long as he continues to play basketball and not become head of any space agencies.
There you go.
That's a good point, man.
Yeah.
These people can think whatever they want to think. There's nothing wrong with it as long as none of them are running NASA. That's another thing. I would like someone with some notoriety in that field to support flat Earth. I've yet to see that.
Yeah, or any
That's fine.
astronomers, anything.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another thing. If there were actually billions of stars in the night sky, flat earthers think there are not. The entire sky would be full of light.
Why?
I don't know. That doesn't seem to make much sense since all the stars are different lengths apart and the light would reach us at different points.
Yeah.
And the Earth is spinning, so we don't see them all at one time.
There's so much distance between stars
Mm-hmm.
that the light's only going to stay so close to it.
Because if there were as many stars as they say there are, the light sky would be bright. But the Earth is spinning, so you don't see them all at one time.
Well, saying there's...
But you don't be pointed one way then, too. Like
saying there's billions of stars only holds ground if you don't talk about the volume that space takes up. You know what I mean? 1 million stars in one amount of area is different than 1 million stars in a different amount of area. Sorry, Forrest, go ahead.
When you look at the sky with the unaided eye and you're not in space, you're actually not seeing current stars. Since light can't travel as fast, some of the stars you see could already be dead, or you can't see them anymore because they could have moved away.
you're getting into my alien podcast. And I'm not liking it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Forrest. Another good point. You've yet to be wrong.
You are making a lot of noise over there, though. You know, everything you make that on the desk, and when you ruffle the bag, it goes shh. When you move the bottle, we hear the... You know, it's just how it is. If the Earth was constantly spinning, aeroplanes, they have it written as aeroplanes, would never be able to reach their destinations due to the 500-mile-an-hour headwind.
This is a flat Earth thing?
Flat Earth.
Okay.
Can you do me a favor and read that one more time, Caveman?
I sure could. If the Earth was constantly spinning, aeroplanes would never be able to reach their destinations due to the 500-mile-an-hour headwind.
But it isn't like
What if-
spinning
what
it's slowly.
What if you go against the way that it's spinning,
Then you go really fast.
and you would get where you want to go?
Yeah.
If you travel over the clouds, that headwind doesn't affect you. at all, anyways.
But if you travel on a plane, aeroplane, enough times, you do notice travel time is affected by the direction of the wind, but just not to a point where this is 500-mile-per-hour headwind. Because yes, like if we were going against the wind, it would slow down the plane ride.
Isn't Earth's encased in our atmosphere that keeps us away from everything anyways?
I'm sorry.
We have an atmosphere, right? The atmosphere is held in the planet by gravity or whatever.
Right.
And that's what keeps everything, that there would be no headwinds because there's no friction in space, right?
You don't always fly that high.
We're not talking.
No, because
planes don't go.
they're saying that there would be the headwind because the Earth's spinning. They're saying the Earth's not spinning.
I think they're talking within the atmosphere.
No, because flat Earth doesn't spin.
See, it's really hard to debate on a question, on a theory that does not make sense at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If flat Earth doesn't spin, then there's no magnetic field and we'd all die. So this theory doesn't even make any sense anyway.
What's on the bottom if it were flat? The dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
Apparently ice.
Aliens.
Well, if
Hollow Earthers.
if it is, the Earth is flat, then it really can't spin. If it spins, either it spins just around,
Spins like a
or
DJ.
it spins,
Like a pizza.
flips
Someone tells
upside
them a
down,
Ooh, pizza sounds good.
and there's no gravity, then we'll all fall off the Earth anyways.
What dictates right side up from upside down too?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's not like there's a top to space.
So if you believe in the existence of God, I know I'm getting into your other podcasts, so don't even say anything. But if you believe in God and you believe in the wrath of God, just imagine then really God was pissed at us. Instead of sending water, he could have just flipped the earth like a table if it's flat.
Maybe that's
Then we
how the
would just all
dinosaurs
fall
died.
off.
Yeah. No need to create a
I
flood
did
and go
see
through
a
the whole
funny
mess.
meme the other day. An asteroid hit the flat Earth and all the dinosaurs flew off. That could be how they died.
Maybe God just like screwed up so bad in making species that he was like, "Oh, these dinosaurs are stupid. Let me flip it over real quick."
Yeah.
New game board.
Yeah, right.
Bad
Like,
idea.
He's just a sore loser. Is really what happened. God just got pissed and flipped the table over.
Game
Dinosaurs
over.
are just scrambling everywhere, flying around like Monopoly pieces.
Tyrannosauruses are dumb. They didn't give them big enough arms. Can't scratch their back. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
If the Earth is really spinning, bullets fired upwards would land hundreds of feet westwards. They don't.
That doesn't even make sense at all. I don't even know how to
Yeah,
respond
I
to
don't.
that.
How's
I don't know.
aerodynamics? Is that an answer?
Maybe. Smart people stuff.
Yeah.
So they're talking about lightning bolts?
No, bullets. If you shot a bullet up, it wouldn't come straight down because the Earth is spinning. So when you shoot it, it should come down somewhere else.
Well, it probably dissolves in the atmosphere
No,
first.
bullets come down.
Yeah, bolts come down.
So far, everything you've said from the Flat Earth website that you're looking at, that the one the government is probably tracking your activity on, all of their arguments are very short-sighted. And the Earth is not short-sighted.
Yeah, they're completely discrediting the entire galaxy and the universe and the. Oh man, I'm totally blanking right here. What's Forrest? What's like the solar system? All the planets. They're part of the solar system. They're discrediting the rest of the solar system.
Everyone's laughing because I put my tinfoil hat on now that I know they're watching me through the
And
website.
it's covering one
Yeah.
eye. It's an
Arr, I be a pirate.
It's an eye patch and a helmet. That's so multifunctional.
Actually, Chris should be really worried because you're logged on under Fandoozy.
I know, it's not me.
Oh yeah, wait, Fandoozy's Facebook?
Yeah, this is just a website,
Oh.
so I'm not on Facebook. They're in trouble.
I have to make a phone call. You'll have to excuse me.
All right.
My aunt's actually expecting me for dinner 3 minutes ago.
Oh.
I forgot to tell her I'm not coming.
All right. You probably want to take the headphones off before you walk away.
Is that a common problem? Do people take these with them?
Yeah, that's how we actually lost that mic stand over there.
No. We blame Mickey for that.
That's
one.
Mickey's fault. We'll always blame
Not
Mickey.
surprised.
After he pooped himself, he took the thing.
Oh, why are we mentioning him again? He's not even a winning fighter.
Oh, damn. Wow. I'm going to edit all that out because that has nothing to do with podcast about flat earth.
Okay. There's no flat Earth.
Especially dinner.
There is only a round Earth that is slowly spinning around the sun.
It's not that slow, honestly.
What else would make the world feel flat? I don't. Why would you think the world's flat?
Yeah, the whole thing is like you if a flat Earth person really wants to prove to me the Earth is flat, that they need to not with the science and technology that we have. I should take science out of that sentence because the flat Earth people do not really believe in science. But with the technology that we have, we should have been able to reach all edges of a flat Earth, and we haven't. When the plane flies around, we kind of get back to the same spot.
But all they're gonna say, have you ever actually flown a plane that goes around? But we could get people in here that have done that.
Well, here's the thing: if you go from North America, if you fly from North America to Asia, you can either fly across the Pacific Ocean to get to Asia, or you can fly across the Atlantic Ocean to get to Asia. So you're flying two different directions, but you will be landing on the same spot.
If you flew over a certain ocean, you would have to go around Earth. Because if you just went over the Pacific Ocean, you would just go into space if it was a flat Earth. If you went over that certain ocean that goes around, it would have to be a round circle, so it would not just fly away.
And then all bodies of water on Earth is actually they're actually one giant body of water that is broken up by continents. But if you look, they are actually all jointed at some point.
Were you guys talking mad shit about me while I was gone?
Yes. Nothing but shit about Dorfman.
Yes.
I don't doubt it. I'll hear
Well,
it later.
I don't know why he's wearing pink shirt.
Yeah.
Someone told me girls like it.
Yeah. Bigfoot likes pink. I told him I think Bigfoot was just a big hairy swimmer bottom, but he didn't think that was funny.
No.
I don't know.
It's a lot of hair.
Yeah.
It's really just Shaq running around.
The Earth is flat. Look, I'm measuring this creek.
Yeah, right.
Because he saw him at a creek bed when he was a Boy Scout.
There you go.
Yeah. Mitt's mom was on here saying, laughing out loud, knowing yes, but I didn't know when she said it, so. Morgan Kavanaugh,
Okay.
the guy with the beard that looks kind of like he was trying to be you.
I don't blame him.
Yeah, I don't blame
I
him.
don't blame him. No.
All right, so where are we at on flat Earth? What makes the Earth round? Let's go there. Why is the Earth round? She's watching live.
Yeah, I was on live and watching live.
Watching yourself.
It comes over. You should share it so all your friends see it too.
This is when you call the radio station and the DJ goes like, "Turn down your radio."
Yeah, turn your radio down. This is a real life example of that. So turn your radio down, but share it so everyone can see it.
I don't want to share that on my wall
What?
because I have a reputation.
Oh. What kind of reputation do you have?
Like I have to actually try to act like I'm actually smart and stuff.
Okay.
And this is like really bringing down my smartness. This podcast.
I don't know what you're thinking because you're married to me, so your reputation already took a big
That's true.
hit.
That's very true.
Maybe that's why my credibility is going down because I keep trying to promote you at work.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, my husband flies and he commentates and
Surprised you still have that job.
Yeah, people are like, okay.
All right, so if we're talking about why the Earth is round, here's a good one. So this talks about how, well, essentially the way that clocks worked before there were clocks. If you put a stick in the ground, the shadows gonna move with time. That's how people used to tell time, and that wouldn't be possible essentially if the Earth was flat, because the Earth needs to be round to have that rotation of the sun affect the shadow of the stick.
If the Earth was flat, the whole planet would have the same season, but in our Earth right now, on different sides of on different hemispheres, there are different seasons going on. Like there are opposite seasons going on in certain countries. So that's because the sun is hitting one side of the Earth and not the other one. So it's that's why there's time changes too. Like here it's a certain time and at the other place it's a different time because it's the way the sun is hitting the Earth.
Were you just about to say that? Because I think you're looking at the site that I was looking at earlier.
What I was about to say is that I'm looking at, is this the same site? Maybe. So
He just came up with that out of his head.
It makes me feel, oh, you're talking about Forrest.
Yeah.
That was awesome. And I was actually looking at something on this website that Forrest came up with right now. But the site makes me feel a lot better about our intelligence because all this stuff that it says to prove that the Earth is round is stuff we already talked about. For example, it literally says ships on the horizon.
Yeah.
Which we talked about earlier. Varying star constellations.
What about snipers?
I think we talked about that. What about what?
Snipers.
Yeah, they have to take into consideration the roundness of the Earth. They teach
Yeah.
you in the military. There you go. That's all the argument you need. The United States military takes into account.
Yeah, the military.
curvature-
There, you just threw it under the bus.
the
The United
curvature-
States military.
They're all idiots.
They're
They're all wrong.
conspiracy theory here.
Yeah, the military is a conspiracy. Every sniper has to conform to this military.
Tinfoil
this
had time.
conspiracy theory. But yes, our constellations, the Shadow of a Stick, which I brought it up because I saw it on here. Seeing Farther from Higher, which you talked about in your story earlier, is on here. Riding in a plane, looking at other planets, the existence of time zones, which Forrest literally just said by himself without the need of the internet like I do. We talked about gravity. This makes me feel better that we ourselves, for the most part, Forrest, were able to come up with all this stuff. So
I wish we had someone that knew about helicopters. I'd really like to hear that one.
more about helicopters. We're gonna have to do a helicopter podcast.
No, just how they don't have to move. But I really think it's hard to hold your place. I don't think it's as easy as the flat Earth people say.
If not, I'm bitterly disappointed in Hollywood
Yeah.
because they led me to believe that it's very difficult. Otherwise, I'd be a helicopter pilot right now.
Unless you're Airwolf. Dude, Airwolf
What's
never had a
Airwolf?
problem. You never
I
saw
don't
Airwolf?
No.
He is way much younger than us.
How? Oh yeah, you're way too young
Yeah.
to see Airwolf. When you go home, YouTube Airwolf. There's a TV show I used to watch when I was Forrest's age.
Oh damn, yeah. That's
You know,
a
in
long
the
time ago.
80s. I was born in 1977, so I'm old enough to be a conspiracy theorist. I lived through some of this.
77,
77, I was born.
Dan's like, my parents were born then.
69, and 66.
Wow.
I'm 94.
Wow.
Oh, baby.
I had my very first fight in 1995.
Holy shit.
And then right here, he could be like the older child. This would be our young child.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The force is destroying the mic over there every time.
No.
It was me. It was me.
And it's easier to blame it on the kid. That's what we do.
Come on.
Nah.
That's what I do with my little brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it.
All right. Do we have any other rounder stuff?
The Earth is round.
Common sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's been proven by so many different scientists, proven by so many experiments. Real science versus pseudoscience.
Another thing we learned today is that most flat Earth conspiracy theorists don't know a lot about science.
Yes.
Well, it would be interesting once you post this and see if any of the flat Earth people will actually come out and say something.
I would.
Because apparently they're so afraid to come onto this podcast.
I'll be more than willing to do this again with someone that totally believes in flat Earth that's not putting it on as a scam. And
Like a rebuttal podcast.
yeah, for sure. I would definitely do a rebuttal podcast. The problem is I could not get anyone to come on here. I got lots of people volunteering for just about every other conspiracy theory I can think of. I had one guy for flat Earth, and he stiffed me 2 out of 3 times, and I couldn't get in here the one time. That Henshaw guy.
Yeah, if you could have got in here that time, he would have still stiffed you.
Probably.
Yes.
I just don't think it's very easily debatable topic, and it's very easy to make YouTube videos when you only give your point of view,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they don't stand up to
We
argument.
did try, though. I
We
feel
did.
like we put in a very valiant effort to give people the perspective of flat Earth theories.
I know, and this is going to be so disappointing because without a flat earther, it kind of sucked.
Yeah.
No, we don't suck. We're smart people.
It was funny at points. Forrest made it funny, and he sounds really smart, so that's good.
The in-house scientist.
Yeah. I'm just looking for the music.
Oh, okay.
Do we want to get out of here?
You are the host of the show.
It's your
All right.
podcast,
It's all
brother.
about you.
The Earth is round. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I couldn't get a flat Earth person in here.
But you're welcome a rebuttal.
Yes, I would very, very, very much like to have someone come in here and tell me how stupid I am because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying to get this horror music back up for us.
I suggest you bring Forrest for the rebuttal also, because you probably need someone smart.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was going to be the guy. The format for the show is supposed to be one person that believes, one person that doesn't believe, and then you're trying to convince me. And that was supposed to be it. We're going to use this one. We're going to go out on a different one. Maybe it sounds better. Oh.
Ooh, spooky.
Yeah, this is a good one for us. You'll like it. It'll make you have nightmares. Yeah. And with that, the first Caveman Conspiracy Theory podcast is officially garbage. I mean, over. The end.
You really amazed me, Forrest, with everything you just said today. I didn't think that came out of you.
All I did was debunk flat Earth with 5th grade science.
So who's smarter than a 5th grader? I guess not the flat Earth people, huh?
Yeah, I don't know what they know and what they don't know. Probably not a lot they know, though.
What's the whole deal with flat Earth people? Why the conspiracy? What is it, like the globe makers? They made all these globes and the bankers run it, so they invested all the money in the dye. They have to make a new dye to make flat Earth globes.
What else would old men open up to put whiskey in?
That's it. It's the whiskey makers.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Whiskey makers started this conspiracy theory.
Yes.
Solved.
Done. Game over.
Earth is flat.
Busted.